My name is Ethan Miller, I'm 22 years old, and I live in Portland, Oregon. This story happened last year, during a time when I was trying to figure out who I was and what I really wanted to do with my life. Back then, I was still living with my parents, juggling a part-time job at a local grocery store and a few online classes in community college. I wasn't doing bad, but I wasn't doing great either. I felt like I was stuck in the middle of everything, unsure about my direction. That's when I reconnected with my high school friend, Tyler Anderson. We hadn't talked much since graduation, but one day he texted me out of the blue asking if I could help him move some furniture for his mom. I said sure. I didn't have much going on that weekend anyway. When I arrived at their house, I was surprised. It was a small but beautiful home tucked away in a quiet Portland suburb. I still remembered the house from our high school days. It always had that warm, welcoming vibe. Tyler greeted me with a grin, and after some friendly catching up, he called his mom to say hi. That's when I met Mrs. Anderson, Laura. She looked almost the same as I remembered from school days, kind, calm, and graceful in the way she carried herself. But this time, I could sense something different about her. She looked tired, like life had worn her down a little. "Hey, Ethan, wow, you've grown up so much," she said, smiling warmly. I laughed awkwardly, trying my best. "Mrs. Anderson, Tyler said you needed some help." She nodded. "Yes, dear, I'm trying to rearrange some of the living room furniture. My back isn't what it used to be." I agreed to help, and we started moving things around. Tyler helped for a while but had to run out to meet a friend. "You're good here, man," he said. "Mom will probably keep you busy for a while." Laura laughed softly. "He's probably right." For the next few hours, we worked together, moving old bookshelves, cleaning corners, wiping dust from picture frames. As we worked, she started to open up. She told me about how things had changed since her husband passed away 2 years earlier. Tyler had moved out for college, and she had been handling everything alone. Her voice trembled slightly when she said, "Sometimes, I tell myself I'm fine, but it's hard pretending you're strong all the time." I didn't know what to say, but I listened. That's what she needed most. Sometimes, listening is enough. When we finished cleaning, the living room looked brighter, maybe because of the sunlight filtering through the freshly cleaned windows, or maybe because there was a small spark of relief in her smile. She turned to me and said, half joking, "You're a lifesaver. I'll just pretend you're helping me because you enjoy cleaning." I laughed. "Sure, Mrs. Anderson, let's go with that." But her words stuck with me. "I'll pretend you're just helping me." It sounded like there was more behind that line, like she didn't want to admit how lonely she felt. After that day, I started checking on her more often. Sometimes to drop off groceries, sometimes to fix small things around the house. She would always say, "Ethan, you don't have to do all this." And I would answer, "I know. But I want to." Gradually, she became like family to me. She'd tell me stories about when Tyler was little, or share old recipes she used to make for him. There were moments of laughter, and sometimes quiet moments too, when I could see tears in her eyes that she tried to hide. One rainy evening, she called me and asked if I could come over. She sounded upset, so I didn't hesitate. When I arrived, I found her sitting by the window, holding a photo album. She smiled faintly and said, "I was just missing 'em all. Tyler's away, my husband's gone, I just needed someone to talk to." I sat beside her, and we looked through the photos together. She showed me pictures of their family trips, Tyler's birthdays, and even an old picture of me from high school that she had kept. "I always thought you were one of the kind ones," she said softly. That night, I realized how important small acts of kindness can be. She didn't need grand gestures, she just needed someone to remind her she wasn't alone. Over the next few months, her spirit started to change. She smiled more often, started gardening again, and even joined a local art class. She would proudly show me her little paintings every week. Then one day, she surprised me. "I applied for a part-time job at the library," she said. "I figured it's time I start doing something again." I couldn't help but smile. "That's amazing, Mrs. Anderson. You're going to love it," she said, With that same gentle humor, I'll pretend I'm doing it just to keep busy, but maybe I'm doing it to feel alive again. That sentence hit me deeply. She had gone from pretending to survive to pretending to live, and in that shift, she found real happiness. Months later, when Tyler returned for the holidays, he pulled me aside and said, "Man, thanks for looking out for Mom. I can tell she's doing so much better." I shrugged. "She's the one who helped herself. I just moved some furniture." He smiled knowingly. "She told me you were like a second son to her." Those words meant more than I could ever explain. Today, whenever I pass by their old street, I remember that time in my life, the dusty furniture, the quiet afternoons, the laughter, the tears, and the lesson I'll never forget. Sometimes, people pretend they're fine not because they want to lie, but because they're trying to stay strong. And a small act of help, even one done quietly, can remind them that they don't have to face everything alone. Moral of the story: it's easy to underestimate how much kindness can change someone's life. Whether it's helping a friend's mom, listening to someone's worries, or simply showing up when they need you, those little moments often mean more than words can express.